Thank you. Wow, thank you very much for that recognition. Patrick, thank you for that great introduction. And so I'm not leaving till May or June, so you'll be able to do this a few more times in the next few months. So I'm looking forward to that. So let me start off by telling you a few facts. This morning, there are 6.9 million job openings throughout the United States. This morning, there are 6.2 million unemployed people throughout the United States who are looking for work. And closer to home, there are 51,000 more jobs available in the 6 New England states than there are people to fill them. So consider for a moment the implications of this picture. You know, we face not only the need to provide people with the skills and opportunities to move from the green line to the orange line on the graph behind me, but also the need to address a structural shortage of people required to fill all the jobs that you and other employers are creating. So it's no wonder that hiring skilled employees remains the central economic challenge for Massachusetts employers. AIM speaks to thousands of Massachusetts employers each year, and virtually every one of them expresses some level of concern about finding people with the training and the work ethic to fuel economic growth in a competitive global economy. But we're not here this morning to just offer the umpteenth presentation with the astonishing conclusion, that it's tough to find good employees. You and I already know it is. Instead, our task today is to examine potential solutions for the workforce challenge, which includes the following. How do we as employers work with policymakers, educational institutions, and others to match the skills and abilities of Massachusetts citizens with the demands of a rapidly evolving economy? How do we harness the many good but often isolated ideas percolating around our Commonwealth to ensure an adequate supply of software programmers, CNC machinists, automotive technicians, construction tradespeople, and medical researchers, just to name a few? And how do we address the opportunity gap by reaching people in economically and educationally underserved populations and give them a road to the American dream? The good news is that we live in a Commonwealth known for creative solutions to seemingly intractable problems. A state that has produced everything from the game of basketball to the microwave oven to Facebook should certainly be a leader in ensuring that all its citizens share in the economic possibilities that lie ahead. The causes of the labor crisis are complex. Here are just a few of them. Number one, it's a good thing, a strong economy. A decade into the economic recovery, Massachusetts employers continue to add 65,000 jobs each year. The state unemployment rate has remained below 4% since April of 2016 and now stands at 3.4%. And economic growth is running at 3.3% annually. All good things, but a challenge for the workforce. Number two, rising job education requirements. Since January of 2013, approximately 10.6 million jobs have been added to the United States economy. Of these, 71% have gone to individuals with a college degree. That compares with only 15% to individuals with some college but no degree, and 14% to those with a high school diploma or less. Number three, demographics. If current trends continue, the Massachusetts labor force will stop growing in 10 years. That development has significant implications for certain economic sectors, such as manufacturing, where employers are set to confront more than 100,000 job vacancies in the next decade, because more than half of the manufacturing workforce is 45 years of age or older, and headed toward retirement. And a joint study by Deloitte and the Manufacturing Institute projects that by 2028, the skills gap in U.S. manufacturing is expected to increase from nearly 500,000 unfilled jobs today to as many as 2.4 million, potentially costing the industry $2.5 trillion. And number 4, lagging productivity. Interestingly enough, the amount of output per hour of work has been weak throughout the current recovery, and that has placed additional pressure on hiring. Over the past decade, productivity has been up an average annual rate of just 1.3%, about half the 2.1% gains seen in the previous 6 decades. And this labor shortage is not just affecting Massachusetts. It's really touching companies all over the world. According to the latest talent shortage survey by Manpower, 44% of employers across the globe report they cannot find the skills they need. So, what's the solution? Well, don't expect a silver bullet. The breadth and complexity of the issue means that business and government must employ a variety of approaches to bridging the skills gap. So here are just a few recommendations. Overhauling the workforce development system to ensure that people of all ages are being taught the skills that employers demand. That overhaul is well underway in Massachusetts, and Secretary of Labor and Workforce Development, Rosalind Acosta, will discuss the details shortly. Ensuring that the public schools provide the basic skills that allow students to compete for jobs that were really not even envisioned 20 years ago. Just 37% of Massachusetts students who finished 9th grade in 2009 went on to complete the post-secondary credentials required for most new jobs. Supporting and expanding vocational education. Resolving the immigration issue that has restricted the availability of skilled foreign workers in Massachusetts and other education and technology-driven economies. Expanding opportunity to the full diversity of the Massachusetts population. The unemployment rate among people of color exceeds 6% in Massachusetts, and among Latinos is 5.6%. The demographic reality is that our Commonwealth cannot afford to leave anyone behind. And the Census Bureau reports that 44.2% of millennials classify themselves as something other than white. And finally, encouraging collaboration among employers, schools, community colleges, university, and training providers to establish a consistent and logical path from learning to employment. So what will some of those collaborations look like? They will probably look a lot like one developed last year by the Benjamin Franklin Institute of Technology in Boston and the Prime Motor Group of Westwood, which operates 70 auto dealerships throughout the United States. Prime had, for many years, hired graduates of Ben Franklin's automotive technology program, but last year stepped up its involvement with Prime Scholars, a partnership that provides students from both financial aid and the opportunity to get real-world training with one of the region's largest auto groups. So let's take a look.
Benjamin Franklin Institute of Technology, or BFIT as the students call it, is a college in Boston that educates city kids and places them in good jobs and growth industries.
So the Prime Scholars Program helps us because we're able to attract good students. They're well trained by the school, they have all the basics down, and we can teach them the rest.
The Prime Scholar Program, for me personally, has been the next opportunity in my life to reach for something higher than just a job.
This has given us the opportunity to help them pay for the schooling and allowed us to kind of set ourselves up for the future here.
I have a lot of pride in Benjamin Franklin because it's a really great school where you learn like everything you need to know. Not a lot of people have jobs where they pay for your school. Not a lot.
You have to work at a prime dealer
You have to have a 2.5 or higher GPA and of course go to your classes. When I first started Benjamin Franklin, I didn't really know what a prime scholar was, but it's literally being an entry-level mechanic and them nurturing you to be an actual technician or eventually a master technician.
There's a lot of teamwork that goes on, and I think the day-to-day of learning and interacting with, employees here is definitely good to just, help anybody.
What we're frequently hearing from employers is, how can we hire more of your graduates? That we're very pleased with what we have, we need more. And what we say to them is, come and work with us to recruit the young people in on the front end.
So after these kids graduate, we already know them, they already know us, they're used to our systems, and I think any company out there would benefit from a partnership with the school.
Construction, IT, healthcare, advanced manufacturing, all of these fields have critical skills gaps, and a program like this can do a lot to close the skills gap.
So it's really a win-win-win for all of us. Ben Franklin has the benefit of a partnership with Prime, so they can help students have a job placement while attending and when they graduate. It's definitely a win for the students because they have the benefit of the scholarship program and job assistance. And then it's a win for us because we have wonderful students that we're able to help them continue to grow our businesses and continue their future.
Our graduates make great workers. They come to work with the knowledge they need, with a great work ethic, motivated to get the job done.
What a great collaborative effort. And so please join me in saluting the stars of our video, Dr. Anthony Benoit and the team from Ben Franklin, and Farshad Pramusa and Melinda Burgos of Prime Auto Group, who are with us today. So I'm happy to say that similar collaborative approaches are springing up in every corner of the Commonwealth. Many are focused on the manufacturing sector, which still generates 10% of economic output here in Massachusetts, and where employment has increased some 2% since 2017. In fact, in manufacturing-rich central Massachusetts, there's never been more pathways for people to gain the skills needed for a job in today's high-tech manufacturing sectors. One of the newest pathways is the Blackstone Valley Advanced Manufacturing Career Readiness Program, funded in part through a $95,000 grant from the U.S. Department of Labor. This program, outfitted with miniature versions of many of the same machines found on factory floors, it serves as a remote classroom for 10 high school districts with the curriculum developed in collaboration with local companies. And meanwhile, Mount Wachusett Community College's Tech Hire Grant Program will this year train about 400 students ranging in age from 17 to 29 in robotics and automation at a campus in Devens. Robin LeClaire, who's the CEO of Lampin Corporation in Uxbridge, will provide an employer view of the manufacturing talent pipeline during our panel discussion this morning. In Western Massachusetts, coordinated training and education programs have been particularly important for new industries that lack an established population of experienced workers. So that was the challenge that faced the global gaming company MGM last year as it constructed the first ever resort casino in Massachusetts in the heart of downtown Springfield. MGM addressed the challenge by partnering with Holyoke Community College and Springfield Technical Community College to create the Massachusetts Casino Career Training Institute. The Institute runs 10-week gaming courses in Springfield, focused on developing professionals in the career paths of gaming, culinary art, or hotel operations. Creative approaches connecting education to job growth have also become the driving force at perhaps the Commonwealth's most visible economic development engine, the University of Massachusetts flagship campus in Amherst. As a recent Boston Globe article points out, the school that turns out more prospective employees to the Massachusetts economy than any other is making a determined climb up the national rankings. Let's watch.
Massachusetts has always been fertile ground for innovation, dating back to its primary role in the Industrial Revolution. Today, technology and research have replaced textile mills and assembly lines, but the Bay State is still the place where the rest of the country turns for the next big idea or game-changing advancement. In fact, Massachusetts has ranked first in the nation 2 years in a row for its innovation economy, leading the way in healthcare, life sciences, technology, and financial services. But despite all this success, there's one thing even our state's innovation economy can't do without: innovators. And while Massachusetts' elite private universities are producing their fair share of young stars, nobody supplies Massachusetts with the sheer volume of fresh talent as UMass Amherst.
Well, we have over 500 graduates from UMass Amherst, and I can tell you we have a direct experience in understanding their capabilities. And the area they shine is both on the practical side, but also on the theoretical side, in helping us develop solutions that we can take to the world.
The University of Massachusetts Amherst consistently turns out more STEM graduates, science, technology, engineering, and math, than any other institution in the Commonwealth. In 2016 alone, the flagship campus had over 1,700 graduates in the STEM fields, and nearly 1,000 of those now live and work in the state at industry leaders like Raytheon, IBM, GE, MassMutual, Dell EMC, Price Waterhouse, and more.
UMass Amherst is by far the leader in producing STEM graduates that feed our innovation economy while making their homes and raising their families here in Massachusetts.
It is impossible to overstate the university's impact on the state's economic health. Last year, every dollar that Massachusetts invested in UMass Amherst returned 7 to the state. An incredible $2.1 billion in economic activity. UMass Amherst graduates make the best candidates because the university is strategically aligned with the Commonwealth's innovation economy, unlike any other institution in the state.
We are constantly searching for prospects to help us succeed in the financial sector. And fortunately for us, UMass Amherst is producing great talent right here in our backyard.
By collaborating with public and private partners, UMass Amherst is leading the groundbreaking research that generates startups and fuels the state's economy. A strong, vibrant, well-funded UMass Amherst is a crucial component in giving Massachusetts a competitive edge in the global innovation economy. To ensure that Massachusetts stays at the top of the nation's innovation leaderboard, we need to continue to strengthen the flagship campus, and we need your continued support to make that happen. UMass Amherst is a powerhouse in research and development, where the students of today are the Massachusetts innovators of tomorrow.
So UMass Amherst Chancellor Kumbal Subbaswamy is here with us this morning, and he'll provide more details about his vision during the panel discussion in a moment. So allow me to close this morning on a personal note. It's really been the honor of a lifetime to lead this distinguished organization for 20 years and to represent the hopes and dreams of hardworking employers from Boston to the Berkshires. I can assure you that everything we do at AIM is done to help businesses unlock their full potential. As you know, we fiercely advocate for positive public policy change that creates economic opportunity. We empower businesses with the information, tools, and resources needed to successfully navigate a fast-paced, complex business world, and we foster connections, networks, and the flow of ideas between people and businesses. I ultimately believe that business can be a positive force for change in helping create a better, more prosperous world, and that we can only do that with a clear and well-defined vision for preparing people to assume the jobs and responsibilities of the future. So I end by just saying that there could be no better legacy for me to leave behind than all of that. I thank you for the opportunity to address you this morning. Look forward to our panel discussion. Thank you very much.